Hello, my name is Adedoyin Jaiyesimi and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk about something that I believe has affected or is affecting a lot of communications professionals. I have personally experienced it a number of times, and I thought to do this video to just share my own experience and share the tips. Just in case you're wondering what this thing is, it's what to do when you're the only communications professional in your organization. Like, if you are the only person working in comms in your organization, you really should put a comment in the chat, not Zoom, a comment in the comment box, and just really share your own experience, because I think that we have to collectively advocate for a change. But before I go into all of that, let me share my own experiences and some of the things that I wanted to highlight from this video. So those of you who have been following me for a long time, you know that I began my journey in communications rather cluelessly. But my first role, or my first official role in communications, or with a communications title, was as the brand communications manager of a faith-based organization. They had never had that role before, so I was the first person. There was no structure for a communications team, and I was going into it very cluelessly and very blindly. Now, in that role, I was the content creator. I was the graphic designer. That's where I honed my Canvas skills. I was the video editor. I was the basic video editing. There actually was a media person, but there were some times that videos needed to just be quickly edited for social media. I'm sure you get the point. I was the audio editor because it's a faith-based organization. Audio needed to go on the podcast. Because people were busy with other things, I had to learn how to splice audio, put the intro, outro, get it ready for Podbean and upload. So I had to do that. I had to do, the content for social media, content for devotionals, which meant I had to be listening to the messages and also transcribing. We didn't have the AI tools that we have now. There were some transcription tools that were not very great for African voices, so that made it a lot harder. What else did I do? Obviously, managing communications, not just within the branch I was in, because I was in the international headquarters, but across board, so 12 branches, ensuring consistency. And I had to be bringing in things as we were going, because like I said, it had never been done before. So setting policies, style guides, brand guides, you name it, I did it, and I was wearing multiple hats. And it was exciting because, again, for me, because I entered cluelessly, I really wanted to show that I could do this. I really wanted to deliver value. But at a point in time, obviously started getting overwhelming because I was just doing so many things, right? And looking back, I saw that, yes, one thing that it helped me to do was to develop my ability in multiple areas, right? So I do appreciate that job and that experience. But looking back, it would have been much, much better for me to have a team that I was working with. Now, because I was new in communications, I was reporting directly to the COO. So I was the head. And some people would comment for me to things I was like, I don't know. So shout out to my friends. I'm like, they have asked me to do this. I'm not really sure. How do I go about this? I would have really loved to have had a senior person or even a fellow colleague to bounce off ideas with, because that's the beauty and benefit of working in a team. It can't be just all about you. There is a creative side to the work that we do as comms professionals, and there's the more scientific side, although we don't really emphasize the scientific side. But you can't, in terms of creativity, nobody is the most creative. Like your creative juices sometimes comes through in conversations with people when you're bouncing off ideas. So I wish I could have had that. Now, going on from that role, moving on to all the other things that I've done and consulting with clients, seeing the difference between organizations that have just one person as their communications or in their communications team and those that have like 2 or 3, there is a clear difference. Now, obviously, this video is for communications professionals, but if you're a business leader watching this, it doesn't really do your organization well for you to have just one person in your communications team. I think I find it really heartbreaking. Someone would say, I'm managing communications, I'm the only person, and I'm handling Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda. I was like, do you want to die? And any organization that's doing that is not even being effective or efficient in any way. Being the only comms person, the advantage that I can see that it brings, just from my own personal experience, is that the stretching allows you to develop skills. I develop graphic design skills. There's a lot of things that I can do that other people can't do just because I learned them on the job. But that was also because I had the creative aptitude to learn those things. Because after I left that particular role in the faith-based organizations, subsequent people didn't have the level of design skills that I had in terms of using Canva. And they struggled in that regard. There was a graphic designer, but sometimes you need to be able to do supplement design, especially when there's a lot of social media content going out. So that needed to be looked into. There were other things that the people coming behind me, and I had to state it categorically that this should be done by 3 people, not 1 person. So while yes, when you're the only comms person, you can learn a lot, you have your skills stretch, especially when you're hungry for knowledge, when you're developing yourself, you can always do that. But there's the potential of burnout. You will be so overwhelmed and you will experience burnout a lot, especially when you're trying to do that within a very, very big organization. Now, someone may be in that direct shoes right now, and you're like, okay, Adedoyin, what can I do? This is what I've seen that works over time. Look for quick wins. And this is what I mean by that. Look for something that you can do that will really demonstrate that you can bring a lot of value to the organization. Organizations that maybe their comms team is new and they have a structure that it is only 1 person obviously do not value the role of communications. Let's be very clear on that. And there needs to be some sort of internal advocacy that needs to be done. However, organizations and business leaders do not respond to emotions. They respond to data. They respond to results. They respond to impact. So a quick win is something that you can do that can demonstrate to them that actually this is an important role. This is an important activity or function within this organization. However, we cannot reach the full capacity or harness the fullness of the potential of this function, of this department, if we do not have more people. So you use that quick win as a way to advocate for more resources. So what I have done previously is, okay, because a lot of times they tell you we don't have money to hire more people. That is fine. I always think in terms of solutions. You cannot hire full-time. Can we get a freelancer that will handle graphics and video? Because I cannot be the graphic designer and the one creating strategy, the one posting on social media. Do you want me to die? Like, really? But you can't just go and say, because sometimes it sounds to them like excuses, right? So when I show them a result from a quick win or a series of quick wins, and I would say, if we have a dedicated graphics designer, if we have a dedicated video person, it allows me to do XYZ that will bring in ABC results for the organization. And I'm very, very clear in communicating that. So you have to go there backed with your facts. Sometimes you say our competitor is able to achieve this because they have this amount of human resources within their communications team, or there is a gap within this industry that we are not yet tapping into. But because we do not have the manpower, if I have a graphic designer, an intern, and a communications assistant, we will be able to do XYZ that allows us to take advantage and push us to the top of the industry just by doing that. So you're making your ask based on the wins, and you're very, very clear. Now, you also must be very solution oriented when you are asking for the help that you need. Do you have to? Someone might be like, oh, Adedoyin, it shouldn't be obvious that I need people, but sometimes the obvious is not really obvious. So you want to go there and say, okay, if money is the problem, because again, we have to also understand the economic context, right? If money is the problem, can we have a freelancer? Can we have a part-time person? Can we have whatever arrangement will work best for you? But you need to ask for the human resources that you need. You cannot do it all as a communications professional. Even me, that I know that I'm multi-skilled, I have abilities in multiple areas, but the truth is I cannot do it all. And I'm very, very clear on that when I'm working with clients, whether it's in-house or I'm consulting with them. And you must be very, very clear on that. But it has to come on the foundation of you understanding your value. And I've done a video of being able to articulate your value within an organization, and then you being clear on the results that you want to deliver. Start delivering the micro result, because there are some results that you can't deliver if you don't have the budget and the people. But there are some things that you can do in the short term that you can then use to advocate for the resources that you want. So whether you're working in a non-profit or a corporate organization, do not allow yourself to be the one man. What's that thing? Is the one-eyed king in the land of the blind, because it doesn't help you. Another reason why this is really important, it is that even for your own professional growth and development, it is not good for you to be the only comms person in your organization, because like I said before, you do not know it all. You do not have hold of the entire creativity. When you work in a team, especially with regards to something as critical as communications, working with people, you are seeing things from multiple perspectives. There's some organizations that put out things and they make these obviously big mistakes because there's somebody in the team, maybe like let's use International Women's Day, they've put out something that you know that this comms team is either one guy or a bunch of guys that have passed this copy round. You have the benefit of perspective. You have the benefit of seeing things from different angles and different lenses. You cannot be the only communications person handling regional communications. You're a Nigerian, but you're saying that, oh, I'm also managing communications in Rwanda, but you do not have somebody in Rwanda that is giving you the insights that you need. You're going to make assumptions that may be very detrimental to your organization. Why? Because you are not Rwandan. And then for some of these people, again, I hear all of these stories. They have never even traveled to Rwanda before, but then they are managing communications for Rwanda. I'm like, how? How do you want to be effective in this role before I start preaching to you? It is not effective, and you must be able to advocate. You must be able to show your organization and the senior leaders why this is not an effective approach. But you cannot do it from an emotional perspective. You have to come back with data. You have to come back with facts. So if you find yourself in that point where you're the only communications person, one, I need you to really, really be clear on the value that you are bringing to the table. Two, I need you to start articulating this value. Three, I need you to identify the quick wins, the results that you can bring so that you can use that to advocate for more hands and more resources that you will need so that you can excel in your role. Four, if your organization continues to insist that they will not invest in either bringing more people or expanding the team, you really need to think about, is this the organization that I want to work with? Is this organization going to make me thrive? Because like I said, it is detrimental to your professional growth and your development if you continue to be the only person managing communications for such a long time. There will be so much that you will not be able to do. You will have the ideas, but to execute, because you do not have the human power or the financial resources to do it. There are some organizations that would say, oh, we have a PR agency working with us. That's nice. But internally, there really needs to be one more person. So I want you to look at your context and determine how you are going to get yourself out of being the only communications person in this organization. We just finished our strategic communications course at the Comms Avenue, the first batch for this year. And this was something that we spoke about. And some of the students have actually begun to advocate for the people that they need. So one person is getting an intern, for example. Another is in that process of really just saying, look, how can we get someone, even if it's on a part-time basis, to come and support in this way? Standing or coming from that standpoint of value, coming from that standpoint of educating people internally about why our department, why this function is very critical and what we need to be able to do it. You cannot be a doctor in your hospital and you are not given the tools and the materials you need to do your work. It's not possible. So why is it now us communications, you just open welcome you to the office, and that's all. You're not equipped with the tools that you need, and then you're keeping quiet. It's not doing anybody any good at all. So I hope that this video has really helped you to see how you can begin to advocate for the resources that you need. If you've been quiet all this while and you've just been managing, I hope you know that it's not good for you. So have a plan. I always like to have a plan. Things may not be able to change in the next 1 or 2 months, but I need to have a plan that by the middle of the year, we at least have an intern. We at least have, a communications officer. We at least bring in, so that by the end of the year, we have a more robust team. In fact, if I were you, I would create a framework and say, this is the kind of team this organization needs for where the organization wants to go, for the goals that the organization wants to achieve. I will go ahead and design it, but baby steps. Let's start with this. Let's start with that. Please, 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 it is absolutely important. But I really love to hear from you, because this is something that really, really needs to change. And I know that it would change from advocacy. I know that it would change from more of us speaking up. So please share your experiences. If you've transitioned from being the only comms person in your organization to getting more people, I would really love to know, how were you able to do it? What did you do? So that we can all learn and, move from this place where we are just the only ones, doing all the work, bearing the brunt of it, being dissatisfied. Because the funny thing is, you're not going to be paid. You're doing the work of 3-4 people, but the salary, usually the compensation doesn't also make sense. So I rest my case with that. So thank you for listening. I look forward to reading your comments, and as always, see you in the next video. Bye.